30-day juggling challenge. Day 1, I'm gonna try to get better every day. We put in 30 minutes to an hour, and let's just see how good I can get. Let's go.
I started getting into juggling around my second year of college. I was playing tennis with some friends. These friends left, and I was left with the tennis balls. It wasn't anything major, but I just started doing it out of the love, out of the fun, out of the passion. And I peaked whenever I first landed my behind-the-back toss. I was so excited. I wanted to share this talent with the world. But at this time, I got a lot of ridicule from the people I was surrounded with, thinking that it was lame and whack. And at the time, that was a lot for me to block out the opinions of others and keep going. So I stopped. Fast forward about 4.5 years to my super senior year of college, and I failed at playing tennis once again and was left with more tennis balls. I started to juggle. At this point, I knew that there had to be something more to it, as I found myself in the same pattern of juggling, but realized that just increasing my speed wasn't necessarily increasing my skill. With this new perspective, I started practicing my behind-the-back technique. I wanted to create my own combo. I created something that fit my style over the course of about a year, and added elements to this combo and smoothed out my technique. This gave me a lot of fulfillment. It led me to keep going. This was the longest time that I had ever juggled in a somewhat consistent manner, and I learned about new patterns like the reverse cascade and the shower pattern. After I finished up my 30-day drawing challenge, which is in the description below, I knew I wanted to keep this momentum going in some way, but I didn't necessarily want to draw anymore. The only thing I found myself trying to do in between work breaks or after work was juggle. Although at first I thought a 30-day juggling challenge may be a waste of time, as I wondered, how would this benefit anybody or humanity with me allocating consistent time to this? But then a voice in the back of my head told me, you never know where this skill can take you. You never know how small progress, incrementally, will improve your odds of success every day. This led me to say, fuck it. Forget it. Forget humanity. Forget what they want from me. Forget everything. Right now, I want to juggle. And it's my life to live. So what if it seems like BS? It's my life, and I'll do what I want with my life. During the first week, I started off by evaluating my skill level. What was it that I could do at the moment, and where did I want to improve moving forward throughout the challenge? Here are a list of the tricks that I learned during the first week. The first week made me realize that juggling teaches about balance. At this time, I understood that you can do many things at the same time by just mastering one thing. Getting one ball to almost operate on its own through muscle memory creates an infrastructure that allows you to introduce other elements seamlessly. As I moved on to learning more advanced tricks, juggling started to mimic the law of attraction. In order to receive, you must be willing to give. Each time you release a ball from your hand, it's the perfect position for you to receive the next. I asked myself, what is it that I'm willing to sacrifice to learn a new trick? Is it my perception of how to juggle? Or maybe it's the structure in which I've combined my moves. Regardless, as soon as I released the things holding me back, I was free to learn something new. At the end of the week, I no longer held on to the ball. Instead, I released to catch, to make the motion. During week 2, I really surprised myself with the amount of growth that I had. Sometimes we don't know or realize that changing the pattern is actually possible. In week 2, I had to define what skill really looked like for me. And I boiled it down to knowing a different movement, thinking outside the box, and understanding new worlds of possibility. I opened the door to my own creativity and combo creation with the realization that when the thing stirring decides to jump in the pot, that's when the illusion truly happens. We have so much potential, yet sometimes we undermine our own capabilities. And this week really broke me out of my self-defeating nature of thinking I couldn't do anything extremely complex. I moved into a state of confidence where I would see a trick and not question if I could do it, but know I could, with a little time, effort, and patience. I now had the power of visualization. Week 3 not only taught me to learn, but it also taught me to lose. It's okay to drop the ball. It's admirable to drop the ball. The one trick you see someone do takes so much failure that it makes it beautiful. The process and cultivation that it takes for growth is a part of the success. From walking, running, speaking, and most importantly, juggling. It's only natural that in the beginning, you may fail more than you succeed, and that's perfectly fine. During week 3, I feel like I refined and created to a point that allowed success to become more of a probability than a rarity. At the beginning of week 4, I took things for granted a bit. I had accomplished so much, but I didn't take the time to truly appreciate the growth and what I was able to do. Week 4 was a battle against myself. I was hit with a sickness that left me in the hospital for about a month. However, I did not want to be defeated by myself. I used the juggling challenge as my motivation to heal, my motivation to get better. And when I went in the hospital, I only had about 2 days remaining in the challenge. But these last 2 days definitely made me face some of the most adversity I had faced in my life. My muscle memory was still intact, and the skill that I learned was still there for me. But it made me question, what was I willing to do to achieve my goal of completing the 30-day juggling challenge? The person that I was starting the challenge versus the person that I became seemed miles apart. Although it was a bumpy process, I've seen myself grow in ways that I could never imagine. I became more resilient and wise with my motion as I learned more about the art of balance. I learned that juggling is an intentional act, and from what I've seen, it allows you to become more in tune with your own flow. Throughout the challenge, I learned about 30 new tricks. That's 30 different ways of interacting with motion. This has shown me that we can all learn new patterns and ways of movement. We can all take that first step in enhancing ourselves by staying consistent in what we choose. All it takes is that one aha moment to change your pattern and to change the course of your moves. And in this life, in this game we play, moves are what matter most.